This is ABC7 News at 5:30. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. There are changes on the way for patrol officers with the Sarasota Police Department. Over the last few decades, high crime areas of Sarasota have been patrolled by 2 officers in 1 vehicle.
But under a new collective bargaining agreement, Sarasota Police Chief Bernadette DePino is changing that standard, and not everyone is happy about it. ABC7's Dwayne Lindo is joining us live with more on this tonight. Dwayne.
Well, Scott and Haley, the change Chief DePino has already implemented is splitting these 2 officers and putting them in separate vehicles. The chief is calling it the smart way of policing, but the opposition is saying it's putting officers' lives at risk. Newtown community leader Valerie Bouchon is on board with the idea.
I'm willing to give it a try. I just want our community to be safe as well as the officers.
Chief DePino spoke with Bouchon prior to making the decision to have 1 officer per vehicle patrols in certain sections of the city, citing officers are able to cover more ground, increasing visibility.
It increases interaction with the citizens in the community, which is part of our community policing, partnership policing philosophy.
And more importantly, says DePino, the new strategy will keep officers and the community safe.
We have such a great relationship with people in our community. I believe that increases the safety of our officers with those interactions that we've had and the trust and relationships that we've built.
But Sarasota resident Ann Dufresne disagrees with DePino. She says putting officers alone places them at risk by stripping them of protection that fellow officer provides.
Officer safety is reduced without a partner. It's a matter of simple math. 2 is safer than 1, period.
Dufresne feels citizens within the areas they patrol will deeply be affected as well.
I mean, officers are human, and as a human being myself, which we all are, that's going to increase anxiety, like I said. And to me, that's going to increase the likelihood of mistakes, reflexive, knee-jerk decision-making, which is therefore detrimental to the public and its safety.
Bottom line, says DePino, numbers show that change may be necessary.
We've seen that in those zones there's a reduced number of police officers that are actually assaulted or battered by citizens in the community than other zones within the city of Sarasota. So this is a smart way of doing policing. It allows us to look at analysis and then appropriately put officers where they're needed.
Bouchon believes that this new strategy of putting officers alone in 1 vehicle could work for the better.
I've known officers for years that have been out here in Newtown, and they do just fine. They don't fear for their lives, so why would one say that?
DePino goes on to say her officers are provided with the best tools, such as ballistic protection, pepper spray, and more importantly, training. Reporting live in Sarasota, Dwayne Lindo, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Dwayne. In Tallahassee, gun control groups are lobbying lawmakers to oppose a series of gun-related bills being proposed in the state legislature. The group Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America and the Everytown Survivor Network visited the state capitol today. They're against several bills, including one that would allow people with concealed weapons licenses to openly carry handguns and to carry firearms on college and university campuses. Other bills would allow people to carry guns in airport terminals, at legislative and government meetings, as well as career centers. Opponents are against those changes, while supporters say fewer guns do not make society more safe.
If you go to the cities where they have the most stringent gun laws, they're some of the most violent places left in America. So it's obviously not working.
Additional gun bills being discussed this year would reduce the penalty for people who briefly display a firearm in public. Another bill could lead to businesses being held liable if they prevent concealed carry permit holders from bringing firearms onto their property and the gun owner gets injured.
Another hot topic at the state capitol is recess, a bill that would require elementary school children to have at least 20 minutes of unstructured free play recess each day, passed a key Senate committee today. Right now, only 3 small counties mandate break time, and just 11 school districts require any amount of recess at all. The legislation would change that, and all kids from kindergarten through 5th grade would be allowed playtime separate from PE class.
Sitting in a chair for 6 hours a day is something that we as adults have a tough time doing. Imagine asking, your 6 and your 7-year-olds to be doing that, and then having to be the teacher that's in charge of keeping that control.
Similar legislation has previously stalled in the Senate Education Committee, where that measure passed today.
It appears right now is a popular time to buy a house on the Suncoast. New figures released today by the U.S. Census Bureau show home ownership dipped slightly in Florida statewide last year, but there were gains in Southwest Florida. The home ownership rate in Florida dropped from 64.8% in 2015 to 64.3% last year. But here on the Suncoast, Sarasota had the highest home ownership rate in the state at 73%. And the Sarasota-Bradenton area had the nation's second biggest drop in home ownership vacancy rate. It went from 3.3% to 1.2%. Florida has been shaking off the housing crisis of a decade ago when foreclosures hit the state hard.
Red tide is impacting some Suncoast beaches right now, and there are those on the Suncoast who can lose money when the sights and smells of that toxic fish-killing bloom return. We went out with some charter boat captains who recall the last devastating red tide outbreak about a decade ago. They say some prospective clients sometimes stay away when they think red tide is an issue, even when it's not.
It does come in cycles. We may not have it for another 4 or 5 years, but then as soon as we do have a small fish kill, then everybody thinks it's just everywhere and it's killing all the fish, and that's not the case at all. It's very spotty.
We'll take a closer look at the red tide's effect on those who rely on fishing for a living. That's tonight on ABC7 News at 7.
Of course, every time the red tide comes in, not good for visitors, not good for fishing, affects everyone. So.
It sure does, and we've seen on the beach reports that it has been out there. Let's get more on our weather right now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Yeah, it's interesting, the red tide bloom this particular season and this outbreak is not nearly as widespread and dense as the one 10 years ago that did kill a lot of fish. And this one has killed a lot of fish, but it's been sporadic. It's been popping up here and there. It's really been exacerbated by the strong winds that come with a storm system as it kind of stirs up the Gulf, and a lot of times this red tide is hanging down near the bottom. It brings it up to the surface and then carries it on shore, and that can become a problem for respiratory folks dealing with respiratory problems. You can see it has now shifted down south into South Sarasota County for the most part. It's still showing up near New Pass and Longboat Pass as well. We got some reports there in some moderate categories, as well as near Lido and as well down south. As I mentioned, near Venice and Inglewood, it's a little bit more intense there than it has been, and that's a result of the bloom kind of drifting down with the actual tide. Well, we are going to see the winds and seas kick up throughout the day tomorrow, and that's a result of a storm system which is headed in our direction. Right now it's spinning across the lower Mississippi Valley. This area of low pressure will eventually move into the eastern Gulf of Mexico throughout the morning tomorrow and bring us a good chance for showers and some thunderstorms. More on that coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. A tragic end to a trip of a lifetime. 4 Americans on a golfing vacation are killed in a fiery plane crash in Australia. Investigators say the distress call came shortly after takeoff. The pilot reported catastrophic engine failure. Seconds later, the plane crashed into a closed shopping mall, killing the American tourist and the Australian pilot on board.
I'm down past the DFO billboard over there, and then all of a sudden it hit the spotlight and just erupted into a huge fireball.
Thick plumes of black smoke billowed from the scene, debris scattered everywhere, and nearly 100 firefighters had to battle this blaze. Australian authorities are calling this crash the worst civil aviation accident there in 30 years.
JetBlue is scaling back its service to Cuba. The carrier is not reducing flight schedules, but it is planning to downsize and use smaller planes on several existing routes. That means 300 fewer seats a day will be available on JetBlue's current Cuba schedules. The airline says it will continue to operate nearly 50 weekly round-trip flights to Cuban destinations, and that these types of adjustments are common, especially on new routes. You may want to check American and United for some good deals on flights. The two airlines have started selling cheaper basic economy fares to try and better compete with discount airlines. American is selling the new fares for flights starting on March 1st on 10 different routes from its hubs in Dallas, Miami, Philadelphia, and Charlotte. Now United says it is also selling cut rate tickets on some flights from Minneapolis to 7 of its hub cities. So check that out for summer travel.
And get out there, explore the country.
Cheap flight and get you anywhere, yeah.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, putting an end to the diversity drought in Hollywood.
How the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences is trying to overcome last year's controversy that overshadowed the Oscars. That's next.
Florida's last private island is a waterfront lifestyle like no other. This is Harbor Isle, just 5 minutes from the sugar sand beaches of Anna Maria Island. This sun-splashed paradise invites you to enjoy natural adventures and all the recreation of a tropical resort. Island coach homes and waterfront condos are now available from the high 400s, plus incredible savings on move-in ready homes. Come tour 6 designer models. This is the time of your life. Make it island time at Harbor Isle. Go to mintofla.com now.
We are going to build a great society where no man or woman are the victim of fear or poverty or hatred, where every man and woman has a chance for fulfillment and prosperity and hope.
Robotic surgery is changing medicine. The robot has better vision than a human. You can see 10 times better magnification than the human eye, but it takes a human eye to run the machine. In fact, it takes multiple human eyes to treat a patient. We've perfected the team, we've perfected the procedure, and the more experienced the team, the better the quality outcome.
Contemporary Cabinetry and Closet Concepts. Our strength is in building a relationship with our clients. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years. When you organize your home, you simplify your life. Call today for a free in-home consultation or visit the web at contemporarycabinetry.srq.com.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Go ahead. Make a fashion statement. Demand something more than just ordinary. Capture elegance in every turn and drive with flair. Where beautiful styling is standard. Stop in and take a test drive. I'll guarantee you'll never go back to plain vanilla again. The all-new 2017 Fiat 500 starting at $14,999. Only at Sunset Fiat in Sarasota.
Are you considering joint replacement or revision surgery? Consider this. Dr. Edward Stolarski has performed thousands of successful joint replacement procedures and trained surgeons from all over the world. Using advanced technologies, Dr. Stolarski is able to perform some of the most complex surgeries.
I wish I knew about Dr. Stolarski much sooner. After the surgery, I don't have any pain. It's like I've got a 16-year-old hip.
My name's Ed Stolarski. What I really do is I give people back their life.
Schedule a consultation today.
The 89th Annual Academy Awards are this Sunday, but after the huge controversy last year over the lack of diversity among the acting nominees, this year is expected to be very different. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez shows us how.
Hollywood getting red carpet ready for what organizers say is a more diverse and inclusive Academy Awards. Trying to put the Oscars so white hashtag and controversy of the past to rest for good.
And it just so happened that this year, we had an abundance of films that represented inclusion.
After 2 years in a row of all 20 nominees in the acting categories being white, leading to boycotts.
I will not be at the Academy Awards.
And mockery.
Well, I'm here at the Academy Awards, otherwise known as the White People's Choice Awards.
This year, 7 of the 20 acting nominees represent racial diversity, from Viola Davis to Dev Patel, and it extends to other categories too. Joy McMillan is now the first African-American woman nominated for editing for her work on Moonlight.
Well, you gotta decide for yourself who you go.
And in the Best Documentary category, 4 of the 5 nominated movies were made by black filmmakers.
I think that they've done a wonderful job. There's some great films this year, and there's a lot of, diversity.
And now the writer who started the Oscars So White hashtag says while there is still more work to do, this year's nominations are a step in the right direction. A direction the Academy plans to continue heading in as it works towards its diversity goals, including by the year 2020 to double the number of women and minorities who vote for the Oscars. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Hollywood.
Now we'll head over to Bob and get a check on our forecast with some rain in store soon.
Yeah, rain is definitely going to come here. 100% chance of rain tomorrow morning. Mainly, some of that could be heavy at times. You don't normally get a 100% chance of rainfall, but it looks like it is here. It's going to be here tomorrow morning and continue into the early afternoon. Today, not much sunshine out there for beachgoers. We had a lot of clouds coming in, spilling in from the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere in advance of the storm system. Right now, that storm system is still well back to the west of us. The area of low pressure is now moving through the lower Mississippi Valley, and it looks like the attendant frontal system, but really it's a trough of low pressure, is moving through the central Gulf of Mexico. It is creating some heavy weather into the panhandle of Florida and some significant lightning strikes out there in the Gulf of Mexico. You can see that rainfall into Panama City right now, and also some intense lightning taking place well off into the Gulf of Mexico. In fact, it's a long way away from us. We're not anticipating any rainfall for the next several hours here. So if you have any plans driving or for your walk or jog, no rain anticipated. It's still over 150 miles west, almost out of the extent of the radar, to the west of the Suncoast. Now, as far as these returns go, these are not showers. This is actually the smoke plume that is continuing to move in from Charlotte County, where there is a wildfire taking place. There's also one near Mayaca City. There have been a couple of agricultural burns, too, one specifically located by Long Bar, where the development is going on there. They had quite a burn today as a result of clearing some of the trees there. You can see that flow is from the southeast to the northwest, moving right on into the west coast of Florida. The air quality index, though, according to the Sarasota Air Quality Index, is at 52. It was just in the moderate range, just out of the good range, which is at 50. Sarasota now some high clouds around 73 degrees. The high today, 79. Despite the clouds, it's still warmed up. The average high at 74, 87, the record set back in 1997. And no rainfall to report. We could add to this total up to an inch in most areas, it looks like, especially in Manatee County and in the northern portions of Sarasota County. Some isolated areas could get up to 2 inches of rain. Well, it's 72 in Tallahassee behind the system where it's rained already. Pensacola at 64, 73 in Miami, and 76 in Key West. Temperatures near the coast, low 70s, mid to upper 70s inland, 77 in Arcadia. 78 now in Punta Gorda. Inglewood, though, at 71 with that sea breeze kicking in. Our winds will stay out of the southeast and then eventually switch more to a westerly direction beginning just after sunrise as that line of showers moves in, and a few embedded thunderstorms will be in the mix with this as well as it makes its way to the east. This area of low pressure will eventually spin out of here, but it'll take a while. In fact, it won't get through here until after Thursday morning for the most part, and then it will move into the Atlantic and away from Florida, clearing things out quite nicely, though, for us for Friday and into the weekend. Things looking good on that front. Well, over the central U.S., all is quiet there right now. A few showers over the northeast, and the big story has been the heavy rain in the California. Look at a little break tomorrow, but there's another storm system on the heels of that one, which will cause more problems for that particular area. Temperature is very warm. Minneapolis 61, Chicago at 65, and Kansas City now at 70, St. Louis at 67 degrees. For boaters tomorrow, seas will be 2 to 4 feet. Southeast winds turn to the south at 15 knots to start today, and then 10 knots in the afternoon. The extended forecast calling for a 100% chance for some showers with some heavy rain possible, 30% chance on Thursday, and then clearing and turning nice on into the weekend with highs in the upper 70s. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. No accidents right now, but traffic is backed up on both US 41 and Fruitville Road in Sarasota, as indicated by that red there on the map. In the future, you could receive a UPS package delivered by drone. The delivery giant is testing drone delivery. UPS drivers would have to use a special delivery truck with a drone launch pad on top of it. Drivers would load a package into the drone's cargo bin. Then a section of the truck's roof slides back so that the drone can take off. The driver then goes and delivers a separate package. The driver and the drone meet back up later so the driver can load the drone with another package. If implemented, company officials believe it would save up to $50 million a year.
Domino's Pizza chain is looking to hire a few dozen employees for a new location here on the Suncoast. Domino's wants to hire more than 30 people to work at its new Lakewood Ranch store. Managers are looking for qualified candidates to work as drivers, customer service representatives, and management. The 2 job fairs will be held at the location on State Road 70, Wednesday from 3 to 5 p.m. and then Saturday from noon until 3. You want to get into the pizza business.
Yes, and they'll have job security until they figure out how to deliver those pizzas via drone. So get in and apply now. Right, true.
Entertainment news is next.
As the only certified surgeon of excellence in metabolic and bariatric surgery in the area, Dr. Joseph Chepley has performed more than 1,300 successful bariatric surgeries. Join us on ABC7 News from 5 to 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, February 23rd. Dr. Joseph Chepley and his talented staff will be taking your phone calls as we discuss what makes someone a good candidate for surgery and the different options available to patients in our area. Thursday, February 23rd.
Hurry in to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota for big savings on some of America's best vehicles. Over 100 standard and available safety features make the new Chrysler Pacifica a safe investment for any family. And right now, you can buy one for just $24,999 or save up to $11,000 on a new Ram Crew Cab during Ram Truck Month. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
There's a whole new way to bank at Achieva Credit Union with Achieva Checking Plus. Get new, unique features like full ID theft protection and online shopping rewards. Plus, it's an interest-bearing account, so you have a little extra for what really matters. Achieva Checking Plus isn't just an account for your money, it's for your life, including cell phone insurance. And that's good to know. Discover the plus at achievacu.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
In town? On the town, The Mark offers landmark living in the center of everything you love about Sarasota. Priced from the 700s, spacious residences and elevated club-level amenities create a private oasis in the sky. Promenade shopping and dining put the best of downtown downstairs. Sales gallery open daily at the corner of Pineapple and State Street just south of Maine. The Mark, Sarasota. Presented by Coulter.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Some sad news about actor and singer David Cassidy.
The former teen idol and Partridge Family star revealing he has dementia in an interview with People magazine. The 66-year-old says dementia runs in his family, affecting both his grandfather and his mother. Cassidy says he plans to stop touring and focus on himself. The revelation comes just days after Cassidy struggled to remember the lyrics to his songs at a weekend concert in California.
One of my favorites, Today Show host Hoda Kotb has adopted a baby girl. The co-anchor of the NBC Morning Show said in an emotional phone interview today on the Today Show that she has adopted a newborn and named her Haley Joy. I approve of the name completely. The 52-year-old says the baby was born on Valentine's Day. Kotb says the little girl is the love of my life. Today's show anchor Matt Lauer says little Haley is the luckiest girl on the planet, and Kotb will be one of the most fantastic moms that he can ever imagine. I think she will be.
She sure looks happy there. Tom Hanks is putting his love of vintage typewriters and writing to good use. His collections of short stories will be published in October. The Oscar-winning actor's first book, titled Uncommon Type, Some Stories, features 17 stories, each in some way involving a different typewriter. Hanks owns more than 100 typewriters. One of his stories is about an immigrant arriving in New York City, another about a bowler who becomes a celebrity, and then there's another about an eccentric billionaire. The original Harlem Globetrotters are in the Tampa Bay area and showing off the yacht shot. One of the players sinking a shot from a yacht into a hoop on land today, and of course it went in. It's all part of a promotion for the Globetrotters 2016-17 tour. You can witness the ball handling wizardry and one-of-a-kind family entertainment tomorrow night. They have a game set for Amalie Arena in Tampa at 7 o'clock.
Their skills are crazy.
They are
crazy
great.
Good.
Yeah. I saw them years ago at Roberts Arena, and they were amazing.
Yeah, you just wonder the accuracy. And that was like the perfect backdrop.
Yep.
Great day and made Tampa look lovely.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with more news and your forecast. Stay with us.